Good evening and welcome to the GameFace MPNFL Awards for season 2021. It's great to be here. We've got our MVP, we've got our Teams of the Year, we've got our Rookie of the Year, Coaches of the Year as well. It's a great pleasure to be here. We thank all our sponsors, Obrien Real Estate, Growth Syndicates Australia, Rosebud Country Club, Truman's Golf Range, Frankston Jeep, Frankston RSL, Jeff Wignall Ford, HP and CP Electrical, and Telstra Business Technology Centre of Melbourne South, who've been with us right throughout this season. We welcome two of the great men in football on the peninsula, former premiership coach at Frankston YCW. His Mighty Demons are playing my Bulldogs in the AFL Grand Final on Saturday night. Wayne Camp, welcome.
Calm down, you two.
A quick go, D's.
You nervous?
Oh, yeah, very. Yeah,
You are?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm sort of like, I can't wait for it, but I can wait for it. Like, you just don't want, you want to win, but you don't want the disappointment to happen. But,
Who's got more to
You'd
lose?
be used to that, though, wouldn't you?
Cappy, who's got more to lose?
oh, Melbourne.
You think
Melbourne
have?
Footscray
Easy.
won one 5 years ago, so
Yeah.
the Mighty D's haven't won one for God knows how long, and I think we deserve it, and please, God, just give it to us.
You worried one game in 4 weeks?
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Hello,
I
Chris
reckon
Holcomb.
we'll be fine.
That's good to be here, Dan, actually,
Good to be
because
here too.
Armageddon hit Melbourne today, and I had...
How'd you cope with that?
Well,
Of
I
course, the
actually...
earthquake.
it was actually funny. I had a mate, Paul Gay, that everyone knows from Queensland, and he rang me and he goes, "Oh, g'day, mate, how you going?" I said, "Do you want me to tell you the truth, Paul? There's a pandemic going on. You're not locked down. I am. There's an earthquake just occurred. People are losing their minds. It's probably freezing. It's 14 degrees. What is it, 30 up there? Like, it's just...
Everything's wonderful.
everything's going great. But we're here.
Where were you when the earthquake hit?
I was in an elevator in the city, actually.
Were you? So
I missed it all.
He didn't feel it.
I didn't miss it all. I got out of the lift and everyone's freaking out and going, "Oh, what's going on?" And I'm going, "What are you?"
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I was at home and I heard it. I thought, what's that?
Well,
I thought it was so close. I thought,
he
I
might
thought
have
it was
been
just
on
outside
the job.
No, I was not. I was just outside. I was.
The earth moves for Dan every day. Don't worry about
You
that.
idiots.
Since he's caught fire on eHarmony.
Don't start. Don't start. No, I'm a nice Catholic boy. Hello, Mum.
Sure you are.
And I've gone outside. I thought, what's that? I couldn't see anything actually that had cracked or anything like that, but it just sounded like a huge explosion.
Well, funny times we live in, Dan. Funny times.
But no one's been injured, so we
Not
live
been
to
injured,
fight
yep.
another day, and hopefully 80% of the public will be vaccinated soon so we can get out. The roadmap can really start expanding and we can get into playing some local sport and get ready for the football season next year. But still plenty of footy to talk about, a lot of awards to get through despite the fact we didn't get through a full season. Now, let's go through how the awards are being awarded, gentlemen. A few weeks ago, we put together our Team of the Year and our Players of the Year.
Yep.
Squad of the Year, sorry,
Squad, yeah.
of 40. Now, we asked the public to cast their votes. Over 600 votes were cast by the public. Mentioning again, the awards are Team of the Year, Coach of the Year, MVP, and the most votes for a player under 21 in the MVP, which I really like.
Yeah, I like that
will
award.
receive the Rising Star. There's been a lot of talk about the Brownlow, about there should be the best defender because defenders don't get many votes. The midfielders tend to get the most votes.
I agree.
But I really like that concept. So well done to Reece. And
good boys.
I also want to say too that our promotion, the way Reece put together the promotion of the three of us dressed in black, someone said to me it's the best I've looked in a long time, being 53 years old. There it is now.
There we are.
The 2021 GameFace MPNFL Awards, hosted by
Jesus.
GameFace.
How
and
do
the
we be
footy
rocking
show.
in the casino looking like
How
that?
do we-
We couldn't go
I
wrong.
believe
Yeah,
your
you're right.
wife, your lovely wife, Cappy, said you look great.
Yeah, she's happy with it.
That's good.
Yeah. She hasn't seen me looking that slim for a long time.
Jesus.
So there's a lot to get through. There's some news to talk about, new coaches as well, recruits. We'll get to that at the end of the program. But let us start with the 2021 GameFace, I should say. Peter Piper picked the pickle. MPNFL Team of the Year.
Oh, here we go. Div
As
2.
voted by the public. Let's go Division 2, the
Div 2.
fullback line.
Oh,
And Somerville feature heavily, which
They do, don't they?
Chris Holcomb would be very happy about because he
Well-
would have had a lot of these players in his team. Zane Carter, Chelsea, magnificent, just a prolific possession getter, a rebounder for Chelsea, who had a very poor year by their lofty standards. Kane McKenzie from Somerville at fullback, very reliable, solid player. Nick Strickland, who was a revelation as a rebounding defender for Rye in the back pocket. The half-back line,
Oh, we're going straight through them all, are we?
no,
Are we not going to discuss that? We're going to do it at the end.
We'll get to the back line and then we'll discuss
okay,
it.
yeah,
The half-back
that's
line, Nick
all right.
Mason, Somerville, another great year. Luke Rose, Somerville, one of Holt's favourite
Yeah.
players and a very good player at centre half-back, lockdown player. And Jake Smart, beautiful user of the footy off half-back for Mornington. Happy with that?
I cannot argue with that because
Fantastic.
actually when I did my initial side, this is obviously the public side, when I
Yep.
did my side, that was the exact order that I had.
Oh, well done.
Obviously, Zane Carter, fantastic. Kane McKenzie is the one that probably stood out that he doesn't get the accolades that the others get because he's got Meso and Rowie there that probably stand out, but he's just a dour defender and tough as a cat's head. So I really like what Kane did this year. And as you said, Stricko, some of the stats that he pulled every
It was
week.
an amazing season by Stricko, and he, probably not a defender all his career. And
No,
he's
not
he's
at all.
gone down there, and now he's one of the best defenders in the comp.
Yeah, 100%. So
Amazing.
that full back line, Zane Carter just deserves it. He's been a standout. And that half back line, wow. Well, that was probably round one, I reckon. We picked that half back line, and they've just been consistent through the whole year.
Enough lockdown players? I suppose you only need two nowadays, don't you?
Well, you've got
You've got
Rowie,
Rowe and McKenzie, haven't you?
McKenzie, and then
Yeah.
the other ones are just obviously fleecing it up. But they're going to get a lot of pill, and they're going to use it well going forward. So
Yeah,
Meso, obviously, it was fantastic. Had a couple of injury concerns, but look, he's maybe going to VFL next year. Who knows? He might have a pre-season at a Frankston.
Yeah, he should,
We're not
hopefully.
sure. Rowie, I thought, was the best defender in almost both comps. So he was your centre half back who, with leagues now that probably aren't rich with amazing defenders, I thought he was a standout. And Smarty was a breakout year for him. So he come from first division where it's intense and he's in a side that's under the pump all the time to a side that's actually
His confidence.
got a bit of the ball. Now he's got a little bit more time and he can use it. And you saw how well he uses the ball.
Oh, the Rye game in particular,
Yeah.
off half-back. I mean,
Yeah.
that smaller ground certainly suited him, but he was just brilliant.
Yeah. So as soon as he gets a little bit of time, he'll just cut you to death. So
Is there
I
anyone stiff?
look, there's a couple. Yeah, there was a couple. The Pearstar boys was Connor Benwell and Cruz West had really good years
What
as
about
well.
Backman from Hastings.
Yeah, Backman.
Was it Backman?
Backman Turner overdrive. One of the great games of the 70s.
Yeah, there were a couple stiff, but I think the public have nailed it. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed
That's
it.
a great back line. That's unbelievable.
Now, this centre line's a ripper too. Joel Hillis, Devon Meadows, who's just signed with the Panthers, and we'll have some more announcements about their list.
I
for
heard he had a
season
little bit of a sniff around, mate.
2022.
Did
I
he?
heard that too, yes.
A little bit of sniff around for Joel.
But he's staying at Devon Meadows, who are looking to make the finals for the first time in over 20 years.
And
they've
probably
got some good players.
odds on to be.
You think they will with the players they've got anyway. We'll get to that shortly. Zach Andrew Arthur picks himself in the centre. Must be one of the favourites to win the best and fairest. And Matt Hill of Rye,
What a
who
year.
is another player who's really emerged since changing clubs. Couldn't really get a game at Mount Eliza, getting a game at Rye. You'd have to be happy, Cappy and Hulks with that centre line.
Well, that's amazing. All those three boys would walk into any Div 1 team.
Correct.
Zach Andrew Arthur, I believe, should have a real big crack at a VFL, and I think he will. And he'll make a fist of it. I was so impressed by what he did this season and his attitude overall. He's just a professional. And if he doesn't play for Langy next year, it's going to be a little bit of a loss if he commits to Frankston.
Well, I hope he does.
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be
Yeah.
fantastic for him. Everyone, and I'm sure all the Langy people want him to play too. But he had a great season, and he'll figure well in there, best and fairest.
Well, it's sort of like when Shane Hockey left Mornington. Shane Hockey was a fantastic kid, and as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, he was just going to churn it apart. But he went to Frankston, ended up being captain of Frankston, played 150 games, I think, and was just and we were that happy for him. I think it could be the same for Zach.
Yeah, he'll be a great player. And Matt Hill, I was wrapped with his season. He just led from the front and got better and better every week, and he was a big reason why Rye had the season they did.
Yeah.
And Joel Hillis just won games for Devon too, didn't he, at times?
Well,
Terrific.
He got injured a little bit during the year, which he missed a few games late, which is fair enough. But what he did early on, like we were talking about him around 4, 5, 6 as being with Andrew Arthur as a leader or a favourite for the League BNF. So his form to that place was just, out of control. And it's probably the fact that he didn't play that back end was when Devon started to drop a couple of games and miss that little bit. But, and what can you say about Zach?
The half-forward line in Division 2, Team of the Year. Damien Race and Seaford, plenty of experience here. Sean Foster from Chelsea, a mobile centre half-forward. What a good year he's had. I reckon he's had just about his best year. And what a wonderful inclusion he's been for the Seaford Football Club and the MPNFL in general. Unfortunately, his AFL career affected by injury. Tim Broomhead has been magnificent.
Yeah, that's a great line.
Oh, it's a terrific line.
It's really strong, and imagine having a line up against that. Broomhead was amazing and consistent. Raso, he bagged 7 one day. He plays midfield.
But he could play in defence too. I mean, he could play anywhere, Damien Mason, couldn't he?
You ask him, he can play anywhere.
And Sean Foster. And Sean Foster was amazing. He had a great season. And so they did a great job. Was this close to what you had?
This was exactly what I had.
Right.
And the funny thing was, and I'll tell Raso to his face, I didn't have him anywhere near the team of the year halfway through the year. Then I'm looking at his stats and then what he did in the back end of the year. He just put numbers up on the board, which were incredible. And then when we went forward and kicked goals, he was very dangerous. Broomhead, he would have been, if I was having a draft, I would nearly take him number 1, kicking goals, midfielder, and just the kind of impact he made. And Fozzie, exactly. He had an amazing year.
He's 6 foot. Possessions in one game.
Yeah, but he's 6'3". He's 6 foot, so he's not like a small centre half forward. No. He can run, and his strength is his marking. He leads up and he hits up and he takes a mark. Yeah. So, that was the exact half forward line I had. So well done, public.
Yes, you've got it right again, Hulks, as usual. You're very good at blowing your own trumpet,
manipulating the public. Yeah. Manipulating the public.
Now the full forward line. 2 small forwards, Tommy Hughes, who was brilliant and had a lot of support from Rye supporters to get in the Team of the Year in more ways than one. Jackson Calder picks himself. What a year he had, the big fella. Kicked a goal in every game bar 1 from Mornington. And one of the most improved players in the competition. Spent some time in the midfield, but when he did play a small forward, he was brilliant. Chad Mulvogue of Langwarren.
Yeah, so Mulvogue was an amazing story, how he improved through the year, and to be picked in the Team of the Year is an incredible effort by him. And he's the type of guy that Langy will build around, the young guys coming through and been able to produce for them. They're going to lose a couple of guys to, like Andrew Arthur to Frankston. But guys like Mulva will come up and fill that spot for them and hopefully won't hurt them too much. Calder, what an amazing season. And he just keeps on getting better. And I was wrapped for him. I think it'd be fair to say that he carried that team a fair bit. Without him, they would have been, a lot worse off.
Look at that Langy game.
Yeah, I thought that was his best performance of the season. I know Langy were probably lacking a little bit in the key defence department.
They got done by 100 points and he's kicked
7 of 11.
Yeah, exactly.
When do you see that?
No, you don't. Not very often.
Yeah, and he's always been a fierce competitor for years. He's a hard bloke to match up on and runs hard. And so, well done. And Hughes, he carried the team on his back a couple of times.
Public love him.
The
public love him.
Always one.
But an exceptional footballer, and he can kick goals, so that's a real win.
Yeah, look, Jacko Calder's, my daughter Ella, it's her favourite player. She just loves Jacko. And Jacko, I think he's up there in Darwin at the moment, about to prepare for another season at St Mary's. I think he's having dinner with George Headington tonight, the old Mornington runner.
Right.
You know little Georgie?
I know George.
The one that I amazed with was Chad Mulva. Like from the start of the year when we had him, we thought he was a small forward, pinch, might get a couple of goals. And we watched him at Langwarrin that day.
Against Somerville,
Against
didn't we?
Somerville,
And
yeah.
then later
And we
in the
thought,
year
oh,
as
that
well.
was all right. That was a good performance from a
Yeah.
young kid. And then he just grew and he went more into the midfield. He got more possessions. He was still kicking goals. So that was really impressive for me. And I rate that kid. I reckon he's going to be a good player.
Because they had Matthew Dormer and also Bagley playing those small forward roles, didn't they?
Yeah,
So
well-
they didn't really need Mulvogue down there. They could develop him as a
Well,
midfielder.
and the public have voted, but I'll tell you what, Chad Mulvogue, and this is no knock on Baggers because we love having great players that come back, but he was a lot more valuable to that Langwarrin team than what Baggers was. And that's saying a huge amount
Baggers
for a guy.
was a role player, really, wasn't he?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
this kid was
with,
damaging.
good goal
with
player.
Baggers is going to attract a good defender.
100%.
So that lets a kid like that off the
100%.
So,
But for a kid
but he's grabbed that opportunity.
Oh, has he what?
Now, the ruck, obviously, to me, this is a bit controversial because I think the best ruckman of the comp is Matt Norton, Big Red.
Opinions like backside stand.
Correct.
Everyone's got one.
But Tom Roberts is one that has had a great year for Somerville. Tom Curran from Coringal missed a few games at the end, but when you have a couple of games where you get a half
50?
century of possessions,
50, yeah.
you've got to be in contention to be in the team. And one of the main reasons why Langwarrin had such a good year was the emergence
Wow.
and the continual
What a
development
year.
and the improvement of Blake Peach. So,
What a year.
again, that's a very strong following division.
It is. Yeah, it's the rucks, like Roberts obviously is a great player and has had a great season, but Matt Norton, in my eyes, I think was a bit stiff to not get a Guernsey. If I was picking the team, I would have had him.
He might slip in there. I'm not sure,
on
mate.
the
I'm not
bench
sure.
or something. But look, Curran amazing. Peach, you've just said, these guys, what they've done during the years is fantastic, and I look forward to watching them strut their stuff next season.
Yeah, Tom Roberts, awesome. Like, if you're picking two ruckmen in Div 2, there'd be no doubt in the history of the world. Blake Peach is the one for me this year that just went, like, even Andrew Arthur early was getting his 40 and stuff, and you're looking at Peachy and he's going, well, he's got 35, he's got 36, he's got this, and then...
Because he'd get off the chain, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And then when they put more attention onto Andrew Arthur, Peach would step up and he'd still be consistent. So we're really happy for Peachy and what he's been able to accomplish this year, and that shouldn't be looked upon any other different than Andrew Arthur's year. And Tom Curran, whoa. And the good thing about Tom Curran is such a good bloke around that Coringal Football Club in terms of junior development and things like that. So, yes, he got 50 touches in a couple of games. Yes, he's in team a year, but he's doing so much more around the club.
AFL bloke
That's
to come
fantastic.
in and promote the junior club and the
Really
whole
impressed
club.
with that.
Yeah.
And after losing so many experienced players, they're getting a few of them back, like Cal Dixon and Dylan Gregson from
They
Moody
could be up and about again.
Yeah,
The
a little
Bulls.
bit more. It'll help them a bit.
Bulls, yeah,
Bit of
will.
recruiting going on.
Yeah.
Tough old year for them in 2021.
I'll be right.
but
They'll come back. They're
One
a
of the
good
main
club.
reasons was Tom Curran. Now, the interchange.
Ooh.
Lockie Williams of Somerville, what a good year he's had. Good to have Anytime Fitness, one of our major sponsors, on board as well. Adrian Speedy of Mornington, the best and fairest for the Bulldogs in 2019. They've got their best and fairest count on GameFace tomorrow night. He's had a great year again as one of their key inside mids. Nathan Gray of Hastings held that team together all year, was superb, former premiership player with the Blues. And Matt Norton has to get in the team. Anyone who has 80 hit-outs in one game and just has hit-outs after hit-outs after hit-outs in games, again, I think most of us would have had him, certainly the three of us would have had him as first ruck, but it's the public voting. They've gone for Tom Roberts, but you could have had either, and I think he would have got good service.
Macklin Rain might have got in.
Yeah, he's a bit unlucky too.
Oh, no!
But I think I knew you'd mention him. But I think Norton and Roberts are ahead of him. But
And you're not playing
gee,
three ruckmen.
No.
four pretty good interchange players. You can just bring in Cabby, seamless transition off the bench.
That is an extremely talented bench. Lockie Williams, a superstar. Speedy would have averaged 32 possessions a week.
Yep.
It was amazing. So, like these guys, as soon as I saw those names, I flicked back to see who's in front of them, and it's a super strong team.
The thing that stands out on the bench, Lockie Williams, you said at the start of the year, could be one of the better players in the league. Speeds is a jet. Matt Norton's, as we rate, probably the best ruckman. The one that stands out to me is Nath Gray. So Nath Gray's come back to Hastings, and he's had a fantastic year.
Yep.
I wouldn't have thought any of us would put him in team of the year at the start, and his form and his consistency, it's a big tick for him, and I know the Hastings guys rate him flat out. and he's had a great year. So well done, Nath.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well done to the 22 players chosen by the public for our Team of the Year in Division 2. Thanks to everyone for getting involved in that. Always a lot of fun. Now, the Division 2 Coaches of the Year. And they've had an outstanding year. They dropped just one game, Langy. I think they would have been very hard to beat in the grand final if we had have got one. That's unfortunate for them. But Josh Beard and Blake McCormack, well, yeah, very unfortunate. I'm just playing it down a bit. Very unfortunate. Maybe
votes out 3-2.
Oh, yeah. No, go third.
Maybe very, very unfortunate. But we'll get to them in just a second. Third place, Zach Vansittart.
You weren't premature again,
Seaford.
Dan.
I'm always premature. You're an idiot. Third place, Zach Vansittart of Seaford with 59 votes. How do you feel about that?
Good, yeah. Oh, great job. Seaford had a tough year playing away the first half of the year, and then they only got 3 or 4 games at home, and then we were all called off. So well done to Zach. I thought he did an amazing job.
I think he did very well. Obviously, the addition of Broomhead was amazing, but yeah, they were competitive with everyone through the year.
Finishing 96 votes ahead of him. And what a year he's had to get his team on the verge of finals. And I think they probably would have played finals, right? They're unlucky. Adam Kirkwood, 155 votes.
What a job. This season started off, they were on fire. They had a bit of a flat patch.
He got them back.
And was able to get them back and then into the top 5. And yeah, great job. And it's well-deserved recognition.
100%. I said the other day when we had our footy show that, look, you can't begrudge a side winning a lot of games because it takes a lot to keep them up and about. But we didn't have Rye finishing 5th. We didn't have Rye anywhere near that, and especially looking at the list. So for what Adam's done through the year, I thought that was an outstanding effort.
I just think the resilience too that he managed to keep them believing when they lost all those games to teams above them, who were obviously better than them, but they had a lot of injuries too.
Correct.
Had them believing that maybe they could still come back in the back end of the year, which they were able to.
Well, we said they won their first 4, and then we said, well, the next 4 is going to paint a picture, and they lost all of them and lost them poorly, really poorly. So it takes a lot of character to come back from that. And I thought they would have fallen by the wayside and finished up the butt end, but no, they didn't. They kept plugging away and they won the games that were 50-50 games. So that's a credit to Adam and the character that the Rye Footy Club showed this year.
Well, I might have stolen everyone's thunder, as I often do.
Yeah.
I've got a mouth on me like a cannon. Foghorn Leghorn, one of the great cartoon characters. I say boy, I say man, I say son. The Division 2 Coaches of the Year. Joint coaches, and I don't think that we're too surprised by this. 206 votes with the team dropping just one game. As I said, very, very, very unfortunate that they didn't win the flag. They were clearly the best side. Josh Beard and Blake McCormack and Cappy, they've got a good thing going down there, haven't they?
That's a great coaching combination. Like 2 coaches, I can't imagine how difficult that would be to share that job, but it works there.
Yeah.
And it's worked for a while. And I know, both those guys, they're really intense. They love their footy club and they're passionate about what they do. And, Langy are very lucky to have those 2 guys there and, in charge. And I'm rapt for both those guys to get this award. They probably didn't get the big one that they wanted, but I don't think that's far away if they can have everyone working as hard again next year and with the talent they got and their coaching ability. I reckon Langy will probably start favourite next year.
It's an interesting combination that you have because usually coaches are alpha dogs and they got the ego about them and they want that attention to be able to share it. And then especially in a year that they have probably the best side on paper and be able to manage that through the year, only drop them one game and roll into it. I thought it was a fantastic effort.
Well, that's hard. They've got to manage the expectations of what everyone knew they had the talent and they were able to drive that bus and get them to play really good footy.
They didn't skip a beat. No. Didn't skip a beat for the whole year.
No, fantastic performance. Congratulations to both Blake and Josh. Wonderful people and doing a good job at Langwarrin, the Division 2 Coaches of the Year for the MPNFL, thanks to GameFace with 206 votes. The Corner Bottle Shop of Rosebud. Thirsty Camel is also a great sponsor of ours. O'Brien's Real Estate and many others jumping on board. Growth Syndicates Australia as we go through our awards for GameFace for the MPNFL for season 2021. Now, the Division 2 Rising Star, and again, this goes in the number of votes that they got from the most valuable player.
Do you want to give it away again, mate, or do you want to
not
start
going
at the
do
bottom
that.
and work your way back up?
The under 21, there's a runner-up and also a best. So it's my show. I'll tell you how I do it. But you're right.
I doubt that.
Start with the runner-up.
Actually,
I'm
dirty. I've got to get on the carts and say, look, I'm probably the main man, so put me in the middle of the adverts and push you to the side.
All right, you
can do that if you like.
Yeah, I've
got a good hit for radio, as you know.
You're right, mate. We love you.
Can't grow grass on a busy street. Now, the runner-up from the Rye Football Club, and those people that wanted him in the team earlier in the year would be delighted.
They love him.
You'd be delighted. You can be happy with us now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls who weren't happy with us not having him in the team of the year early on. You know who you are. We like you, though. 102 votes for Tom Hughes. And remembering, explaining this again, the Rising Star are the players who hold the most votes in the MVP who are under 21.
Fantastic, Evan.
Yeah.
We spoke about Tom earlier, and he's going to be a super player, and if he keeps at it and works hard, he'll become one of the premier players in the comp.
You love that. The crowd favourites. And often when the crowd go and watch you every week, they know. And like when they jump on the back of someone, they're watching them every week and they know probably more than what we do.
Of course they do, yeah.
So for Tommy to get up there and A, team of the year, and B, runners up in the Rising Star, well done.
Yeah.
Division 2 Rising Star for the 2021 GameFace MPNFL Awards. Chad Mulvogue of Langwarren with 113 votes.
Yeah.
Beat Tom Hughes by 11.
He's already a star, and it's going to be good fun watching him play and see what he's. I'm so looking forward to watching him next year, and he's that bit older with the experience that he's had this year, with the confidence that he's got and gained. He's in a good team, and it'll be really interesting and good fun to see how he goes this next season.
It's a good photo too that he's got with that hand release on the bouncing the ball. I like. Can you just run that up again? Because it's really nice. I like. Look at him. He's concentrating on it.
We expect him to play a lot more midfield.
Look at that. Look at that hand grip around the ball. It's going from high.
Looks good, doesn't it?
A lot of people can't bounce a ball anymore.
I imagine he would play more midfield, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
if
Andrew Arthur's gone playing VFL, he'd be the inclusion, you'd think.
Oh, perfect inclusion. And he won't skip a beat. Kid's good. Kid's got skill.
He certainly does. Now...
Oh, the big one, is it?
The big one, the most valuable player award.
We had all different opinions. We had all different opinions on this.
We did. Third place. He kicked goals left, right, centre. With 208 votes. Jackson Calder, Mornington Football Club.
Third.
What do you think about that, Holtz? I know you love him.
I had him winning the.
You had, so did I.
Winning the MVP.
So did I.
But,
look, it's people who obviously have their opinion and all that sort of stuff. But he had a fantastic year. For a full forward to come third in a midfielder-laced environment, then it's pretty good effort.
Well, as you alluded to earlier, a game where they get thrashed and he kicks 7, he's more than a full forward. He's carries that team a bit with what he does. He doesn't just kick goals. He brings his mates in, and he's a superstar. And
he also, I suppose, puts opposition defences on notice a bit, doesn't he? And, they've got to keep such a close eye on him that others can get off the chain.
Oh, yeah. Well.
And we saw James Cameron when he came into the side at the back end of the year and he started kicking a few goals, didn't he?
Cave time, yep. Yeah. No, definitely.
Now, the runner-up...
This is
some
intriguing.
Might think this is a bit of a surprise. He did have a very good year with 214 votes from the Somerville Football Club, Tom Roberts.
He did win the Somerville Best and Fairest.
He did,
so,
yes.
Again, as we said before with Chad, the people who watch every week know. They sit there and they know. So Tom's had a fantastic year. And if you're going up against someone like Big Red and you manage to get the first ruck in the team of the year, you've had an exceptional year. And I've watched him play. He can play.
Yeah, and
he can play.
If you do win your team's best and fairest, well, obviously you can play. And, as you said, they see a lot more football of Tom than us. And
firsthand.
He's played some great stuff. And that's a great result. And, we learn now. We'll look at Tom differently. And
100%.
And appreciate what he does.
Yeah, yeah.
Division 2 most valuable player for 2021.
Drum roll, Russ. Drum roll.
Before I mention it...
Oh, sorry.
Who do you reckon?
Oh, I've got it in front of me. What are you talking
But if you didn't have it in front of you, I was silly.
Oh, we just said we were going to go Calder, but we were wrong. But there was three. There was three we had. We had Calder, we had Broomhead, and we had Andrew Arthur. Now, Broomhead and Andrew Arthur haven't been mentioned yet. Jacko come third. So it's between those two. So let's see what the public did.
Okay, let's put it up. I forgot you had the paper. How well am I going? Zach Andrew Arthur of Langwarren, 246 votes, 32 votes from Tom Roberts of Somerville, and thoroughly deserved. I mean, we've spoken about him all night.
He's one of our favourites.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of our favourites.
I reckon that's a accurate result, and he was no doubt, like, the stats were amazing. The points that he got in the dream team, the data points.
The dream team. Supercoach.
He'd be in my dream team, this guy. But he's a great player, and as we were talking,
we threw
earlier,
a blanket over the three. And for him to get it, that's fantastic. And they were the best team. He was the best player in the best team. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And I hope he does go and play VFL football next year, or at least go and, well, we know Frankston are interested.
Yeah, well, that's right.
And we know, too, that he'll give it his best shot. He's fit, he's a personal trainer.
That's the thing,
it, mate. The thing is, you look at that kid and you know he wants it. Like, he's hungry. He works hard. You can't teach people that.
No.
And he wants to be better. He wants to get as good as he can, and he'll strive and do it. I've got no doubt.
100%. What you're saying is exactly right, because when I was coming up through, and this is a lot of years ago now, but you had guys with skill who the skill carried them through, and they go, oh, this guy should play VFL or should play AFL or whatever he does. This kid now, he's got the skill, he works hard, he's in the gym, his fitness is fine, his skill's fine, he ticks all the boxes. Back in the day, they mightn't have had the attitude, they mightn't have hit the gym, they mightn't have been fit, but this kid actually ticks everything. So hopefully has a crack and gets a good go at it, and then
I'm sure that all the MPNFL will be cheering him on as well. Hopefully he gets what he wants.
Now, just before we get into First Division for our awards,
are we having a break
tonight,
before First Division?
Thanks to no, we're going right into it.
Are we really?
Keeping going.
I probably think
we'll keep going.
I reckon 30 seconds would be handy.
No, we're going to keep going. Now, on the boss, along with Reece, we've decided to keep going. You guys have just been invited on the show, so do as you're told.
I'll slip out for
some of the club best and fairest: Devon Meadows, Rory Hillis, Somerville, Tom Roberts. We mentioned Tired, Will Hose, and Seaford, Tim Broomhead. What do you make of all of that? Any surprises in those BNFs?
Sorry, what was Devon again?
Devon was Rory Hillis.
Rory Hillis. Yeah, no,
Joel
that's what I said.
And
Rory was fantastic. Very consistent. Really
but you didn't have him in the team of the year much.
No. Well, who do you want to take out, mate?
Well, I don't know, mate, but I'm just saying that I'm telling you that
he was the one that people were coming at hard. That said that he probably should have got in. But if you want to take out one of those, I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. So that's no problem. So you probably would have taken out Lockie Williams or Speeds.
Probably not.
Yeah, well,
he's very unlucky.
That was a conversation.
If you were having a 23rd player like an injury sub, you might have him there as your 23rd player.
But I'll tell you what, he did put his name up in front of people, and he stepped out of the shadow of his brother, and we actually said, and I had people from other clubs coming to see me and going, hey, this bloke can play. He's a bull. Like, he goes hard. And we didn't know about him because Joel was obviously the Hillis, but no, he had a fantastic year.
Yeah, he certainly did. Thoroughly deserved to win the best and fairest.
Very
a bit surprised by Will Hose winning it at Tired.
Oh, don't start me. Don't start me on this, Dan.
Ethan Rahali averaged over 30 a game. Brad Harmison had a pretty good year.
All right.
Ethan Rahali had footy.
No, honestly, if your name is Hose, you got a minimum of 2 votes per game. I was out there, Matty Hose, I think he won 10 best and fairest in a row. Like, it's just, the people write down Hose and just fill in the initial later on. Now that Will's come on. And he had a great year. He was. We were really encouraging because he was a kid who was getting some stats and whatever. He can't beat Rahili in the best and fairest. I was going to say, seriously,
hopefully it was by a vote or something.
That is. And I think Baff Brady's out there, if he's watching this, that's a disgrace. That is a disgrace.
That's your opinion, not mine. I'll leave you on your own.
Oh, well, come on, Dan. It's a opinion-based industry.
Let's move on now to the First Division Awards.
Right.
And again, we thank Obrien Real Estate, Grey City Gets Australia, and Rosebud Country Club, who've been great sponsors of ours right throughout the season, and the Telstra Business Technology Centre of Melbourne South. So let's get underway. Chris will be back in a minute. I don't know where he's going, but he'll be back in a minute. As usual, he always decides to leave us on our own, Cappy, doesn't he, in our time of need? But you and I can handle it on our own. We're very good at that. Thank you, Hulks. Now, the 2021 GameFace MPNFL Team of the Year for Division 1. The back line. Again, the public voting on this. We put together a squad of 40. And you've got Elliot Simmons from Mount Eliza. Jackson McRae from Rosebud had a great year as a key defender. Good lockdown defender, along with Elliot Simmons. And Dean Waugh is one of your rebounding players, but a very good intercept mark from Dramana in the back pocket. Do you like that, Cappy?
I do. Dean Waugh had an amazing season. He had leather poisoning. He was one of those guys. And Dramana had a few of them who accumulated 30 touches every week. And he had a great season. Jackson McRae, really solid. He was in the team of the week nearly every week, and thoroughly deserves that role. He's a tough guy to play on, and not many forwards got off the chain from him. So, they've got a bit to build on with their defence down there at Rosebud, and with Jackson down there leading it, they're in good shape. And Elliot Simmons, I didn't have him in my team. He was voted for by the public, but another bloke who had a great season. And part of the reason why Mount Eliza I think they end up finishing, third on the ladder. They were a really good team, and really played well. And it was guys like Simmons who, just flew under the radar and did their job, and was the reason why they ended up so high on the ladder.
Hello, Chris.
G'day, mate. How are you?
You had to go and write a letter to the Pope, did you?
Call a nature, mate. You know how it rolls.
Yeah, fair enough.
You're a professional, so you don't stop. You just keep going. So.
Do you like that? I didn't need to go to the toilet. I certainly could have hung on too. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's the way it goes. Now, did you like the fullback line? Elliot Simmons, Mount Eliza for the
I actually
Division
loved
1 team. Jackson McRae, Rosebud, and Dean Waugh of Dramana.
I actually loved it. I didn't think that he put McRae in his team of the year early enough this year because I thought he was playing some outstanding footy. Simmons surprised me. He can play. He can play, the kid. Waugh racks him up. I thought that was fantastic. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Had a really good year.
The only one was
Jackson
probably
McRae.
Douglas.
Douglas
that I
is
might
a bit
have
Douglas,
thought.
very unlucky
Yeah.
from Bomb Beach. He's just very reliable as well, isn't he?
Did you mention
does a
Douglas?
Great job.
No, I didn't. But I
Yeah,
had him in my team every week.
Well, yeah, no, he's fantastic. But you can't argue with those three. I like him.
They all
But
play
let's
well.
get to the half-back line now, and Cappy will be jumping out of his skin.
Oh.
Brenton, BJ, Credlin of YCW
There we
on
go.
one half-back line. Shane Tennant, who could have been at centre half forward, has been named by the public from the squad of 40 from Mount Eliza at centre half back, and Jackson Casey, a new role for him. He started his career as a defender, then went into the midfield with so many quality midfielders. He can go back and just rule the roost across the half back line for Bomb Beach on the other.
We've spoken
half-back
about Casey going back a lot, and that proved to be a winner because he's a good player. They've got a chock. This midfield's full of superstars, so well done to him to go back and reinvent himself as a halfback and be as good as anybody in that team. And Tennant, he's one of my favourite players. I used to hate coaching against him.
He's a bull.
He do any, he's an intercept mark. He's great hands. He brings his teammates into the game. And in my team, I'd love him at centre half back.
You would.
It's amazing. And Brenton Credlin. There's a guy I don't talk about much, but
No, not much.
No, he's
But he's a very
superstar.
good player. No.
Oh, really?
Well, no.
We mentioned him a couple of times this year.
No, but there's no better intercept mark in the competition.
Yeah,
both
when he's on.
competition
When
than
he's on.
Well,
When he's on.
his poor games are better than most guys' good games.
This is the
I can
most intriguing line in First Division Team of the
hard.
Year.
Who's unlucky?
It's intriguing. It's intriguing. You know why?
Why?
Because BJ hasn't had a good year as this bloke's pumping up. And
Yeah.
I rate, if I had at the start of the year, give me that in a league side, I would have said, Jacko Casey, he's a midfielder, he's not a backman. Tenno, yep. Credlin, yep. But Tenno's been forward, he's been back, he's been here, he's been there. Credlin hasn't had that. Jacko Casey has come back and exploded. I thought that's fantastic. And I really rate Jacko. He's tough as a cat's head and what he's been able to do to go back. But yeah, BJ, I love BJ. I love
But
BJ.
the problem with
But I
these
don't-
guys who
Nick
set
Carlin unlucky?
Oh, very,
Yeah,
very,
very unlucky.
very.
But the problem with
unlucky.
these guys who have been playing a high standard of footy all the time,
Yeah.
they have a season which mightn't be as high, and
might
they're
be-
judged.
100%. 100%. I rate. Yeah, 100%.
Anyway,
I
I'm defending
I
it.
rate them flat out.
That's a public.
And a little bit like Shane Tennant, you could have put Guy Hendry there too because he spent some time being
Yep.
such a young team finds
Yep.
at centre half back or centre half forward.
Probably goes back to the fact that there's no standout central back at the moment, centre half back that's dominating the competition.
Sam Drake, was he more fullback?
Maybe need a row to go
Bombers.
up. Maybe the Div 1 side should
I'd
chase Luke
have
Rowe.
Hendry and Tennant in front of Rowe. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problems.
So the centre line now, what a good line this is. Sam Gilbert, Bond Beach, the former St Kilda star, what a year he had. Alex Harnett, brilliant year for the Bombers, one of the stars of the competition. And Braden Nelms, one of the good up-and-coming players, one of the reasons why Mount Eliza won a lot of games and was always there when the whips were cracking at the end when they managed to hang on in all those close results that went their way. So he's from Mount Eliza, and that's a very good centre line, gentlemen, I would have thought.
Well, yeah, I sort of agree with the public here. Not
You sort of
100%.
agree?
Yeah,
Go on.
Gilbert and Harnett, I agree with. I don't think... Well, Nelms was great. I'm not pleased.
You don't want to bag anyone,
I don't wanna-
unlike me.
but-
No, but I don't think he's in the same class as a guy like Mitch Gent or, I could pick a couple of blokes in front of Nelms to play that role.
Blaine Coates even.
Yeah. There's...
I disagree.
I think he's had a good year for Mount Eliza. But
really
if we're
liked
picking
him.
the team of the year, I wouldn't have had him in.
I
But
think I would have.
But he performed well. I'm sure he'll go well in their best and fairest, and he was a great team player. For them.
We watched him that day out at Mount Eliza. He was best on ground.
Yeah, he was.
Was it Mount Eliza or was it at YC?
No, against Bombers.
No, it was
Yeah,
against Bombers. when
Bombers.
they
Yeah,
won.
Yeah.
they hung on by a point.
Yeah,
he was
kept
fantastic.
driving them
Yeah.
inside 50 in the last quarter when they were under the pump.
Mate, he can play.
Harnett was amazing.
Oh, he was.
And, it'd be interesting to see the MVP results, and I would tip that he'd be in real calculation, along with Gilbert. Those guys were amazing for their teams, and Gilbert was all over the place playing ruck at some stage. His use of the footy was incredible, and you look at that Bomb Beach team with those guys in it, it's super strong.
We've pumped up Flex Alex Harnett for the year. He had an amazing year, and I reckon that he probably had a breakout year in terms of Peninsula. Like he was at Pearsdale, he went to Frankston Dolphins, and he had some good success there. And then he was sort of bits and pieces on the way back through when he was playing at Bombers last year. This is probably the first year he's been settled into a side and had a crack, and he's shown what he can
Oh,
do.
without doubt. That's got to help. That's got to help. Like
Yeah.
playing, you're training with your mates every
Yeah.
week. You're playing with the same team every
Yeah.
week. Know your role better.
Yeah.
And then you get confidence, and he just got better and better every week. And
He's
what a year he had.
He's in my NFL
There were
punters
a
club
couple
as well.
of games early in the year where his disposal efficiency was down a bit.
Oh,
but
Dan,
then
you're
there was the
very
game
negative.
against Sorrento where I reckon he
You're
had
very
30 possessions
negative.
and would have nearly gone at 100%. He kicked 4 goals.
What about the game
He just
against
exploded.
Rosebud when he went into beast mode and won the game?
Yeah, he was brilliant.
That's amazing.
He's
But yeah,
fantastic
Gilbert's a freak. Like, he's a freak.
He certainly is.
Hopefully for Bomb Beach's sake that him and Armitage get on and have another crack next year, and Dennis Lane for that fact.
Yeah.
But we'll see how we go.
Don't see why they wouldn't.
Talking of
Age.
Armitage, the half-forward line, 169 games for the Saints. Runner
Have a look at that half forward
Yeah,
line.
look at that. Khan Heratuku for the Bombers. Got better and better the
Lord.
longer the season went on. And
Have a look at that.
the role player, if you don't mind, at Bomb Beach, he's been a superstar for that club for a long, long time. Played some decent footy. Shane McDonald. That is as good
Have a look at that
line
half-forward
in
line.
local footy that
That
you're ever
is-
likely to see, gentlemen.
That is the most amazing local half forward line I've ever
So
seen.
you look at that half forward line, and
Wow.
you go, how good is this competition?
Oh, that's
and,
ridiculous.
You could just talk for hours about each of those guys.
Well, you can have them in the midfield and have Khan in the ruck, Armitage, ruck,
could.
Rowan and Macca. But
Well,
they're
Armitage's played in the midfield most of the season.
but they're sitting in the half forward line.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't think the public got that wrong.
Oh.
And,
No.
I'd be interested if any other competition had a better half forward line.
I don't
Nowadays,
think so.
the half-forward flanker isn't... It used to be Starvation Corner, wasn't it? It's no longer Starvation Corner. It's basically a spot where...
Well, they work
do
up.
what
They
you
work
want.
up to the midfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't get in the best 6 midfielders, because there might be 6 seniors who've had better years or better players. Now, that might be the case. Armitage is obviously right up there as one of the best in the comp, but he gets in the team as another midfielder playing half forward who can kick goals.
I'll take him in half forward.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that these guys...
that?
I reckon these guys would be in the best midfield if they wanted at Bomb Beach. I'm just talking about Armitage and McDonald. I think they would be
I'm
close
saying
to their
the
best.
team of the year, certainly in the midfield.
Well, in the team of the year, I could see him in there as well.
Yes.
But we're fitting him in, and all the public's fitted him in, and geez, it's amazing. Hatuku, he come really good in the second half of the season. He was a bit slow at the start, and but he ended up like he was kicking 4 goals, taking marks, getting heaps of ball down to the ground for his small forwards and stuff.
We watched him a couple of times through the year, and there was stages where you thought this bloke's going to take this game apart, and then you don't see him for 2 or 3 quarters, and then he goes away, but then he comes back and you go, wow, like it was one of those, wasn't it? It was one of those experiences where you go, this bloke laces up for 100 minutes, the game's over. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about turning up.
But he'll be better for the run, I reckon. This year. Like he gets the pace of it better. It felt like he got better and better as the season goes on.
Would like to see a final series. That would have been nice.
I reckon watch out next season. I reckon he'll be really good to watch.
Jeez, he's still fit.
Oh, he certainly is.
Mackerel played till he's 40. He might be the Tom Brady of the MPNFL. He might play till he's 44.
And having quality players around him means he doesn't have to be the pea in the pod.
Correct.
No, and he's a gun, and he everyone knows what he does.
I wouldn't like my skinny 18-year-old learning halfback flanker playing on him.
Oh, you'd learn how to play the game a bit.
Well, you'd be sore when you finish. You'd be sore when you finish, I reckon.
You would. Now, the full forward line. Rowan Steele, one of the best young players in the comp, one of the more emerging players in the comp as well from YCW. What a good year he had. Trent Dennis-Lane, when he did play, kicked goals left, right and centre. And, of course, from Bond Beach. But he did miss some games because he was part of the Sandringham coaching committee when their games clashed in the VFL with Bond Beach. And Sam Fox back playing full-time at the Bombers after a great year at the Zebras in 2019. He was also pretty handy as well. What a good forward line that is, Kevin.
Yeah, it's great. Steele was fantastic as a kid coming in, and he just walked in, played senior football, and he owned it straight away. And no one knew who he was. He's quick, he's skillful, and he knows where the goals are. And even when he started getting some good opponents, the opposition started knowing who he was still doing damage. And I take my hat off to what a great performance. I can't wait to see what he's going to bring.
No matter what he does for the rest of his career, right, he can put up, what's the half-forward line? He can put up, Armitage, Heratuku, McDonald, Steele, Dennis-Lane and Fox and
Good
go, that good.
It
wouldn't matter where he goes. It's
he's just a kid.
And he's just a kid.
Yeah,
I'd be putting that up on a wall or text me mates and going, how good's that?
Yeah. And Dennis Lane, proved how
class.
important he was.
Class.
He just keeps getting better and better. And talking about blokes who could play till he's 40.
He was the cream on the cake. I mean, I saw him against...
Cream on the cake, he's more than that.
Oh, yeah. I saw them against Rosebud and he kicked 5. And he was not the best player in the team. He was far away from being the best player in the team. He just finishes off. He's just so classy and clever.
I love his commitment to keep playing. That's what I like, because a guy that's done what he's done over the period, there's no reason why he should be playing, but his commitment to keep playing.
Obviously.
He's got coaching commitments, he's getting older, he's played AFL, but he still gets up and racks up.
Kicked a winning goal in a final in the AFL. I mean, you'd love to be able to see that.
I got a lot of respect for what TDL's doing.
Yeah,
a lot of
then
respect.
You got Sam Fox in the other pocket, that's
VFL team of the year last year.
Great player. Was he Frankston?
We just snuck him in, but he was a VFL team of the year.
Superstar. And so, that team, that Division 1 team is incredible. I know we haven't gone through the rucks yet, but, you look at these players, they just... they've all got experience at a higher level. They bring it back, and they're still playing that level in our comp.
League's in a good state.
It certainly is. This is our MPNFL GameFace Awards show, and great to have your company. Dan Lonigan, Wayne Cap and Chris Holcomb with you. Thanks to Grey Syndicates Australia, Rosebud Country Club and HP and CP Electrical, along with Jeff Wignall Ford with branches Hastings, Frankston and Mornington. This is the following division, and Billy Gertz picks himself. He had to get in. What a year he's had, the big beast from Dramana. His brother Sam is a ruck rider.
Brilliant.
He's had an outstanding year.
Well done, public.
And Blake
well
Malone in his first year for YCW. He got injured
done.
late in the year, but he set the standards early days. It was good to have him in the team as well. And that
Wrapped.
is as good a following division as you're likely to get again, gentlemen.
Wrapped.
Yeah, the Gertz boys, they accumulate that footy, don't they? The Sam was a machine. He was.
I'm wrapped for Sam because I reckon he flies under the radar a bit when you talk about class midfielders in Div 1. And I reckon he's just a ripping kid. And he just keeps getting the ball and he keeps dishing out, gets his own ball. And he just, it's contested ball and he's just class.
Yeah, well, he's like Steele. You were saying about Steele. I reckon he'd be
Well,
pretty happy to be in that company.
Well, he's
that
only
there.
22, 23 maybe, Sammy, I think.
He's got a good, he'll be a great player.
Oh,
and, he's had a good season, like the public's picked him in there. I didn't have him in
I
my
would
team.
have. Well done, public.
But, yeah, well done. Oh, you can't argue with it. He's
Nah.
had a great season and well done. Billy Gertz was the outstanding player in my eyes.
What a year.
Incredible.
What a year. Hey?
And
It's funny that
Nearly
we
and
bring,
he's only a baby.
We bring
We-
points every single match.
we bring the stats on
Yeah.
and we see, and we actually, it opens you up to how much of an impact that he has on the game. And like you said, Ruckman usually get their best around 25, 26. He's 20 years old, 21
21
years old.
Yeah.
Like, this kid is going to be a freak.
Yeah, and if he decides to stay in our comp, we're in for some real good fun watching him.
I don't know if he...
Dramana's going to be a really good team.
I
They are.
hope for his sake that he really stretches it out and sees how far he can go. Because I reckon he can go a long way.
Do you reckon there's
Do you
been
think he
some
could get
interest?
on an AFL rookie list?
Well, he's just a kid, mate. And you know what
How
AFL's
tall
like?
is he?
No, he'd be
6'3",
6'5".
4".
No, he's 6'5". Like I chat with him one night,
Tall
and he
enough
was
to be a ruckman?
taller than me.
6'5"?
He's probably that in between, but
Yeah.
he's contested ball. He's on the ground.
Mm.
He's in and under, not your conventional ruckman. So he can
So
do what he
could
wants.
play as a key defender?
He can do whatever he wants, mate.
Yeah.
He can do
He
whatever
knows
he
how to
wants.
play, and
Yeah.
he hunts the footy, and that's
Yeah.
a real talent.
Wasn't
And
impressed.
Blake Mullane was a great recruit for
Yeah. He
YCW
was.
this year, and he brings leadership. He's a running machine, and
Brent-
good luck trying to tag him.
Brendan
during-
Dunn's favourite player.
Yeah.
He was
really
creaming
enjoyed
his
that game,
pants,
didn't
didn't he?
he? Yeah.
He loved it.
But
Dunny was just like, Blake Mullane's got the ball again. Oh, lordy.
so he made up a really good midfield at YCW.
Yeah.
And,
A big-bodied midfield, yeah.
it was, with Hutchison and.
Well, he
Wallace.
was lucky to the fact that he had Goon and Hutcho there that were there, and then he was on the outs, just went bang, away goes. But geez, he was impressive.
Yeah, he was great.
Now,
How old's Blake?
Oh, he'd be 26.
Is that all? Oh,
He's only a baby.
Now, the
that's annoying.
interchange.
that's annoying.
Dramana, why is it annoying?
Oh, because everyone's have to go put up with him for the next 6 years of running amok in the midfield.
So it's okay from my end, I mean.
I know, you'd be happy with that.
Oh, Cappy's just like, over
Now,
the moon.
Dramana were just on the edge of the finals. In fact, they were in the top 5 when the season came to an end. They've got their 4th player in the Team of the Year,
Oh, interchange.
put together by the public.
Fuzzy,
and
yeah,
as we
that's
go to
the
the
colour.
interchange, and Billy Quigley is that 4th player. Again, superb season. Mitch Gent from Bomb Beach, just part of that wonderful midfield. Guy Hendry from the Pines was Mr. Fix-It in a tough year for the Pythons. And Harry Pryor, who is Chris Holcomb's man, as the main ruckman, and changing up forward with Khan Heratuku to make them the most damaging ruck combination in the league. You could not argue, I would have thought, with those interchange
I'm
players,
right with that
boys.
interchange.
Yeah, I
Wrapped.
would have had a couple of these guys in the on the ground in the 18.
The heck is that bench?
Hendry, Guy Hendry's one of my favourite players. Like he's here. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but in a team that really battled, he just picked those guys up and said, "Come and follow me." All year he would play either end of the game, either end of the ground, and never once drop his head. He just kept working and working and working. And, a great leader.
That's what you appreciate about Guy, because they didn't have a good year, and he had a premiership a couple of years ago,
that's right.
and he knows what the high times are. But when you have a bad year, he was fantastic, and
Great character.
great character, great character.
Yeah. Pryor he just snuck into the team of the week at the end of the year. For me. But he's really come along as one of the best ruckmen in the comp. And he'd be up there and be talked about if Billy Gertz wasn't.
He's been magnificent.
And how Mitch Jen isn't in the 18 by the public, I think they've slipped up there. He's a superstar, and he should be in that midfield, in my opinion.
Who would you like to turf out? Would you
That's
like to
the
say
problem
any
he's
names?
got.
Oh, you're a dog.
No,
You're
tell you now,
unbelievable. You're
saying.
unbelievable.
Well, you could have Mitch's ruck rover. Sam is.
Sam on the
member of
bench and
interchange
interchange.
bench.
No,
Yeah, you would
Sam's
not
in.
bat an
No,
eyelid.
I'll stick
Let's
with
see,
Sam.
you're asking me who I'd pick.
I'll
That's
go
what I would.
Sam. I'll go Sam.
Is there
Jenny
anyone,
can start on the bench.
Is there anyone
Who do you
unlucky?
Oh,
Not
there's
in the
tons.
22?
Oh, there's a heap.
Luca
Oh,
Gurley.
hang on.
Yes.
No, yeah, the YC. Typical.
No.
Oh, come out. No, it's YC.
Okay,
or
you're
it's
talking
stiff.
about the team to finish second on the ladder, and
Oh,
they've
my
only picked
Lord.
one of the players.
What
in
about
the midfield.
Bailey Breen? The tackling
Yeah,
machine
good-
from
good
Mount
player.
Liza. Was
Nick
he
Carlin?
stiff?
Nick
Nick Carlin was
Steve
stiff.
Mannix.
Steve Mannix was probably
He
not
was,
far away.
He was
yeah.
consistent.
Oh, my God.
There was
Hey, can we just...
Kyle Jacobson of
Correct.
Pines had a very good year.
Really?
Had a tough year. Yes, he did.
Oh, what?
now you're going
What?
to shoot me down, but Mitch
Are
Hallahan,
you serious?
I thought was stiff not to be.
Oh,
considered.
don't.
We've got no. They probably haven't picked one Sorrento player.
Haven't they? That's amazing.
I thought Miles
Mitch
Mahalki had a
Hallahan,
pretty
like-
good year too.
Anyway, don't start me.
Can we actually go to the last bloke that we haven't spoken about
I'm
on the
about
bench?
to go to him.
Yes.
and keep talking.
Go.
Billy Quigley.
Go. Yeah.
He deserves to be in this time. I'm a fan of Billy.
Oh, yeah, I love Billy Quigley.
He's another bloke who just racks up the possessions and knows how to get
At
where the
will.
footy is. And he's hard bloke to follow because he just runs and runs and runs. And, you know, he's a modern day footballer who just doesn't
Just keeps
stop.
getting better.
But you know what I love
So
about Billy
consistent.
Quigley the most?
What?
And you would love this too as a coach. He does not make mistakes and he's clean. So he picks up the ball, he doesn't fumble, and then when he gets the ball, he delivers and he's efficient. He doesn't turn over the ball. So
Agree with that.
you look at Billy and you go, it's nothing special about him. He's not quick, he's not big, he's not strong. He finds a ball, he doesn't fumble, and he delivers. And that is that's what I found most amazing about him. And he'd be one of the first picked every week in my team.
Let's go now to the Division 1 Coach of the Year. Thanks again to the public for all their votes.
Oh, this has been amazing.
We'll start with third place. Pretty tight.
Oh, you
with
reckon?
127 votes. Adrian Connelly
Oh.
of Bond Beach. Now, you can have a great team, which he did, but you've got to mould that team too, boys.
Similar as we were talking about the Langy coaches, I reckon he's done a great job with those guys. He's got a super talented team. He's got them playing some good footy, and they ended up at the top of the ladder. So I reckon kudos to him. Really good job. And,
First year coach too.
yeah,
At
first-
Bomb Beach with
yeah,
the
Bob
new
Beach.
group.
Yeah, he's an experienced guy, and he must be excited about the season starting. And they didn't get to play Mount Eliza or YC.
Well, we said that, and we said how amazing that final series would have been.
It would have been
like
fantastic.
it would have been red hot, and then we would have had things to talk about for months and years to come because we would have found out who was the best side.
So it's an incredible. Oh, look, yeah. Anyway, we're talking about Adrian. I think he's. I think he's done a great job. And
Yeah, great.
He was on hiding to nothing with that team, and he did the job that they wanted.
He did indeed.
Runner-up, Steve Brattle from Mount Eliza with 139 votes and did a tremendous job too, guys, didn't he? When you consider that they may not have had the talent that other teams had, but he found a way to have them believing and especially to have them able to win the close games.
Congratulations to Steve on an incredible effort this season. I had Mount Eliza as one of the teams up for relegation at the start of the year when I was tipping it. And no way did I have them finishing in the five, and they finished third. He's got a team playing for each other. They obviously play for him, and their end result for the season was a great effort and a reflection on a great job done.
I honestly think that it's one of the best performances from a club and a side in First Division for the last 10 years, from a side that we started the season, we thought they were at exactly what you said, and I said the same thing, to where they got to at the end. With no superstars, they had Bailey Breen, who they've found. They've got Nelms, who they've found. They've got Simmons, they've found. Tommy Kelly, one of our favourites in here. An ageing...
There's no stars.
No.
No, there's no... And what they were able to do and consistently win games in tight contests was really impressive. And Steve's got a lot to do with that. So I think he had a fantastic year. Well done to Steve. And it was his first go at senior coaching.
Yeah, it was.
So... It was very impressive for me.
Do you remember the turmoil around Mount Eliza at the end of last season?
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah, 100%.
he got the job and he's taken it, and I'm so impressed by what's happened.
It must have taken an amazing coach to be able to topple Steve, because he finished second, didn't he?
He did finish second.
How the hell did that happen?
Well, it's all done with the votes, I hear. The Division 1 Coach of the Year, the GameFace MPNFL Awards, Division 1 Coach of the Year for 2021 from the Frankston YCW Football Club.
Here we go.
With 173 votes.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
He just continued to keep that club up there, and
amazing
there weren't too many
result.
hiccups. He had them believing, he had them on the same page, and they were well structured.
Don't stop.
Yeah, it was a great
believing.
effort. He's
Great song.
Journey.
he's done. Paul's done an amazing job. That team's nothing like what ran out in the last time they played in 2019. I think there's about half difference. He's got a lot of young kids. He's blended it with a lot of the older guys that are still there, and they were on top of the ladder for most of the season. I think they only got pipped right at the end.
Yep.
And a bit stiff not to win the premiership. If you ask me. But no, I got nothing but admiration for what Paul's done, and I watch it very closely, obviously.
Yeah.
But as I say, with all the young kids come in, they've had 5 or 6 guys from the under-19 premiership team of 2019 come in and be regular senior players. He's nurtured them now, and they're going to be super good players, and they feel part of it. And I watch them, and they're really committed to what they're doing, and they're going to contend next year. And great effort by Paul.
Well, he coached Mount Eliza under 19s in 2018, and then, of course, he went across when he missed senior jobs to be a development coach at Frankston in the VFL, and that certainly helped him. And then he got the job at a team he loves in Frankston YCW. So he's had the right apprenticeship ready to go.
Have you got another 20 minutes for Cappy to talk about YC? Or
No.
You're right with that? Or
Yep,
no? I haven't had my opinion yet.
Yes.
And I said halfway through the year when he was away on holidays.
Yep.
Because I bag YC all the time because you pump him up. But I said halfway through the year, if you can remember Dan, and he got a very good memory. That he's doing a magnificent job. His side was probably the third best list. But he's got them on top, and they're flying. They don't lose. They're consistent, and I thought he was doing an amazing job. So it's well deserved. Can you shut your ears for a second? Yeah, it's well deserved. He did a magnificent job.
This is the GameFace MPNFL Awards for 2021. Thanks to Growth Syndicates Australia, Rosebud Country Club, Frankston Jeep, HP and CP Electrical, Telstra Business, Technology Centre of Melbourne South, along with Truman's Golf Range. Now, let's get on to the Division 1 Rising Star. And again, this is all to do with the number of votes that they accumulated from the public in our MVP for GameFace. So if you're under 21 and you've got the most number of votes, you end up being judged the Rising Star. The runner-up, talking of YCW, Hulks, we've got more YCW. Rowan Steele with 151 votes from Frankston YCW.
There must be an amazing player in front of him if he got runners-up.
I just had to put my glasses on to make sure that was right.
Yeah, I
know. So Rowan Steele, we spoke about him before. What a great year he's had, and
good name too. Rowan.
It's a ripper.
Rowan,
it is.
Is it?
Rowan, yeah.
Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan Steele.
Sorry.
He's an
parents dyslexics. Or?
Yeah. So look, he is. It's just there's some great talent, great young kids coming through who can perform at this level against the superstars like Armitage and McDonald and Khan Hatuku. These guys can mix it with them, and they're only babies. So I look forward to watching him play.
Awesome. I was really impressed with him. Like he's a lively little forward, but it must have taken a good player to beat him.
By 3 votes, so it went right down to the wire. The winner of the Rising Star from the Mount Eliza Football Club, terrific wingman, Braden Nelms. Well done,
pipes. Look at those pipes.
Yeah,
very good.
He had a very good year.
He'd be happy with those, wouldn't he?
Big unit for under
He'd be
21.
happy with those. Yeah. I'd be happy with those.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, that'd be good. I cannot agree with that more. Like, honestly, Rowan still had a fantastic... Rowan had a fantastic year, but Nelms, every time that I saw him play, I was very, very impressed. We always talk about Mount Eliza. There's no heroes. There's role players. This kid is a gun. He's going to be, in a couple of years, you're going to be talking about this kid as a premium player in MPNFL football. unless he goes and does a VFL stint. But really impressed with him. Awesome year. Every time I saw him, impressed me. Fantastic. Can run on the outside, and he's strong.
Certainly is.
And skills plus. I think a little bit of Larry left foot in him.
Yeah, beautiful left footer.
Beautiful left footer.
All right, the big one, the Division 1 most valuable player for season 2021, the GameFace MPNFL Awards, as voted by you, the public. In third place, Frankston YCW featuring again. Thanks to Anytime Fitness, one of our loyal sponsors as well. With 153 votes.
Lucky.
Blake Mullane.
Lucky to get that high.
Yeah, well done,
Missed a
Blake.
few games at the end, but
Yeah.
gee, he was brilliant early.
Yeah, he probably he did. He missed I think he missed 2 or 3 right at the end, and they were looking forward to him coming back when we got shut down. But yeah, he had a great season. We've spoke about what he brings and the leadership and he leads by example. And as I said, if he had played all the games, I reckon he would be up there in contention with it. But
If's a funny word in
that's
football,
right.
mate.
Injury got hold of him a little bit. But,
If's a funny word.
He's one of those guys who has an incredible work ethic, and he'll be ready to go in 2022.
That scared me when he said that he was 27 or 26. That freaked me out because this bloke...
He's in the prime of his career
this
now,
bloke
isn't he?
is a jet. Ask
is.
Brendan Dunn, who just creams himself. Like, instead of going to Tinder... But Dunny just looks up
doesn't
YC's
need to go to
website.
Tinder.
No,
He's
he
got a
looks up
lovely
YC's
wife at
website
home.
and sees
Hello,
pictures
Dunn
of Blake
family.
Mullane, and he goes, "Oh my god, he
Keep it
excites
nice,
me."
hold
But he
to it.
makes up a part of a really good midfield.
I've lost these marbles down there.
I've actually said something funny and Reese has dropped his phone. Well,
I'm telling
I
you
reckon it's
now,
funny.
this bloke, if he stays in the MPF, if we might try and hoard him. Anyone wants to maybe poach him, there might probably be a chance.
No, you're joking.
But no, look,
No,
fantastic.
he's fitted in. He's a huge part of
Mate,
the YC.
he's a
family.
jet.
Runner-up
Absolute jet.
with 221 votes.
Who do you reckon the top two are? Top two players in the comp for the whole year? What do we say for the whole year? Who were they?
We won't steal Dan's thunder.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you can say it if you want.
No, you're premature before, but no, let's go with runner-up.
The runner-up, one of the biggest bulls in the competition in the midfield with 221 votes. What a year he's had. Alex Harnett, Frankston Bombers.
Yeah, great season. I know you'll rave on about him for half an hour. One of the biggest. But I'm also I stick my hand up, and I'm also a huge fan of Alex. And I know I've watched him from his younger days, and he's a super player. He works hard, and we talked about how he's benefited from being in the one environment all year, and he's a reason why the Bombers ended up, up on, when they finished third on the ladder. And
Yeah.
really,
No, the season didn't finish, mate. They're probably going to finish on first, probably.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Right.
they'll probably.
But look, Alex, great effort, and he was unstoppable.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's
he
so
was
strong.
a beast, and
And
he's the same. I think that him and Mullane are probably the same age.
Very would be, yeah, close.
Yeah.
That's what can happen when you stay at the one club as well, with the greatest respect. I mean, he obviously liked playing the VFL, but he went back to local footy and he just played there all year, and the consistency just kept going for him.
Well, the
He was
same. Yeah.
brilliant.
I reckon these two are going to go head to head for a long time. Hopefully, we see him for 6 years.
Yeah,
that'd
of
be
course.
amazing.
It'll be wonderful to watch.
Oh, would be.
Can
So
play.
hopefully these two have a crack at it because they're both exceptional, and he's just a bull. One.
Can I say hello to the lovely Jeanette Holcomb as well? Chris's
You
better
can,
half.
Dan. Yeah, you can, Dan. She's been texting about you all night.
Well, she thinks I do a good job.
Well,
of the fan club?
she's
Thank
not
you,
on her
Jeanette.
own.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about
So
our
why is
winner
it about you?
of the Division 1 most valuable player
Oh, I wonder who this
for
is.
the
Drum roll.
2021
Drum roll.
GameFace
Drum roll.
MPNFL Awards.
Drum
He's
roll.
had a brilliant season, 200 ranking points in most games.
Here we
From
go.
the Dramana Football Club, the Big Ruckman with 312
Well done.
votes, so he was 91 ahead of Alex Harnett.
Well done.
Billy Gertz. Well done, Big Billy.
Well done, Billy.
And he's still young. The sky's the limit.
Honestly,
he's just touching
I
the
can't-
surface.
This is. Sorry, Cappy.
You go.
Honestly, if you had told me at the start of the year that Billy Gertz was going to be the best player in the comp by that far, it's not funny, I would have laughed you out of the place and gone, you're taking the mickey, aren't you? I said, you've got some of the best midfielders from VFL football coming back into our comp. You've got Sam Gilbert, you've got David Armitage, you've got Shane McDonald, you've got Blake Mullane, you've got Alex Harnett. All these midfielders are coming back into the comp, and you reckon that this 20-year-old ruckman from Dramana is going to be head and shoulders above everyone else, I would laugh.
I send you back to the 2019 Grand Final.
Oh,
how good was he? He was a baby.
We thought that was, he played unbelievably, but did you think that was
nothing? I understand. I understand what you're saying. There was no indication of what was coming, I reckon it caught everyone by surprise. And as we were talking about before, he runs, he accumulates, he hunts the footy like a midfielder. He marks. He's got a great set of hands, and he gets you 40 hit outs. And he accumulates 26, 27 possessions.
10 clearances.
Yeah.
8 tackles. Like he
outstanding.
How many ruckmen have 8 tackles a game?
Not many.
Oh, mate.
I mean, 8 tackles by anyone a game is a brilliant effort.
Bailey Breen probably averages a little bit of it. I think he's the only one that beat him this year in average tackles. Like, the kid's a jet.
Yeah,
so, for what he did this year, like, hats off. Bill, you're an absolute champion.
Yeah,
you deserve all the plaudits you get. We're really impressed with what you've done, and
well done.
We hope that you go to VFL and you do something special. If not, we get the chance to see you for the next 12 years.
Yeah, we're happy.
You're a champion.
Certainly will be, and he'd be wonderful for the Dramana Footy Club. But as I say, if the opportunity does occur, we wish him all the best, and we think he'll give it a real crack. Just before we go, guys, in regard to best and fairest, the Mornington BNF count on GameFace tomorrow night. And we've got a couple on Friday. The Pines Football Club having theirs, and also having theirs is Rosebud on Friday. Some coaching appointments. Paul McCormack, the former Carlton player, played with the Blues between 1992 and 1994. Very respected local footballer as well, is taking over from Ben Walker at Edithvale Aspendale. He's standing down due to family commitments, and Paul McCormack, with his experience in footy cappy, will be a very handy addition for Edithvale Aspendale. Hopefully will help them attract some more players to lift them up the ladder in 2022.
Well, that is a great appointment, and it's very exciting for the Eagles. I just don't reckon they started off a bit slow. It sounded to me last year that they were just starting to hit the straps when the season ended.
Yeah,
and they were playing some really good footy, and it's disappointing that they had to have a change, but the new coach is a great appointment, and. I reckon it's
I'd be optimistic if I was an Edithvale supporter.
Yes.
100%.
Devon Meadows have got Ryan Henty replacing
I heard
Neil
that today.
Craig, he's the assistant coach with Mick Fogarty at Beaconsfield. Mick comes with a great reputation from 10 years at Noble Park before taking over Beaky, who were on top of the ladder in the Premier Division of the Outer East Comp. He's also brought across with him Nick Battle, Josh from St Kilda's brother, and Brandon White, the former St Kilda player, played 10 games as a playing assistant. So Devon Meadows doing pretty well, and Joel Hillis has re-signed.
Wow, there we go.
So
that's
Devon
a big one.
To finally break a drought of over 20 years of missing finals. They're starting to become a bit of a destination club.
I'll tell you right now,
it's good that they've hung on to Hillis because...
oh, really? Do you know something I don't?
No.
Oh.
No. It's good that they've been able to hang on to their players.
Why was some people trying to poach Joel, were they?
Well,
I don't know.
If opposition clubs were after him,
were they?
Particularly in Division 1,
he might have really? Tempted. Do you know anything in particular?
Nothing.
No, nothing. Okay. I reckon they'll make the finals next year. Div 2.
Oh, they'd want to. They'd want to.
They'd want to with that list. Yeah. I mean, there'll be some pressure.
So there's pressure. Yeah. I like that.
We've done an interview too with Ryan Henty as well.
They did okay this year, and they were just outside. Now, you've got a bit of momentum with some good recruits. Now the expectation's going to be a bit higher.
He played at Doveton. He played in the Premiership at the Doveton Eagles. He had 2 years as a coach at Garfield.
We won't hold that against him. That's all right.
No, he's still got plenty of experience though. So he'll be a very handy addition for them. Anthony Aegis, very well-known player.
Legend.
NFL. He's going to coach Tyab, replacing Aaron Pacey. He's been a
legend
premiership player at Edithvale Aspendale. He was involved at Seaford.
Yep.
Helped them win a premiership in 2009, leading goal kicker in the league, won a Rosebud. Played at Laylaw as well, which is a very strong team in the Northern Football League, the old Diamond Valley League. So he's got a very decorated football background behind him.
I had the pleasure of playing on Ant for years. Champion bloke. Played on him at Edithvale, played on him at Seaford when they both had strong sides, and just a really, really good footy bloke. Like, it's so down to earth, and geez, you could
play. Feels like a great appointment, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And like for Tyab, and I know after the end of the year that they were looking around to see what was out there, and I'm telling you right now, this is an amazing appointment for Tide Footy Club. Done a great job, and I wish Ant all the best.
And Pearcedale looking for a new coach. I thought Justin Hamilton did a wonderful job.
yeah.
They stripped it back. They rebuilt. He's having some health issues, and we wish him and his family all the best in those struggles. Everyone in the MPNFL, right behind you, Boris. You've done a great job. You've been wonderful for the Pearcedale Football Club.
Yep.
What sort of coach do they need, Hulks, do you reckon?
Teacher. They need a teacher. It's either well, you can go both ways actually, because they've actually got the foundation of some really good kids that are there. So maybe even if they get a playing coach who can draw some experienced players to help those kids, or they go the other way and they go a teacher who teaches them and grows up together.
It's an attractive job.
Yeah, it is actually.
Because they've got some talent and they perform well this year. And
Frawley, Benwell, Cruz,
Daniel.
West.
And they've got a pretty good record at home. Tractor Park's becoming a fortress for them too, so they can win.
Because no one wants to go there.
More games there.
It is a terrible.
More games than they lose there. That'll help them.
But
in
all seriousness, that is a good job to get. Because there's so much young talent, and you keep them together, and in a couple of years' time, with a few recruits added, you never know where that might lead you.
We like Pearcedale.
Well, thank you, boys. That's it for the MPNFL. It's been magnificent. Congratulations to all the award winners. Well done to Reece on a magnificent job.
Well done, Reece.
Putting it all together for us.
Well done.
And we need to thank all our sponsors again. O'Brien Real Estate, Growth Syndicates Australia, Rosebud Country Club, Truman's Golf Range, the Corner Bottle Shop at Rosebud, Thirsty Camel, Frankston RSL, who do a lot for community sport, Jeff Wignall Ford, Frankston Jeep, HP and CP Electrical, Anytime Fitness, and Telstra Business Technology Centre of Melbourne South. To Glenn Carter for making it possible, allowing us to be here and talk footy every week, for the public for getting heavily involved in the awards and been willing to vote and just being engaged in our show. We've loved it.
He's made you a superstar.
Oh, I don't think he has.
But you can't step foot into a pub on the peninsula and not get mobbed by fans. It's ridiculous.
They don't shout me too many beers.
Well, I've seen you in Mornington before. You're amazing.
Oh,
they love you. They flock you.
Oh, do they really?
They flock to you.
Well,
I thought you said, what'd you say?
I thought you said something else.
They flock to you.
I must have had my head in the sand. But
well, you've had a few places lately. Hey, Harmony's been kind to you, mate.
Shut up. Well done to everyone. It's been a wonderful season. Captain, good luck in the grand final to the Demons.
Thanks, mate. Good luck to the...
No, you don't believe that.
It should be a great day. And over the next few days, we'll be building up for it. Enjoy your summer, everyone, and good luck to all those players playing in Darwin as they continue their football journey.
Jacko.
And we'll be back again with more football in 2022. And always get your game face on.
Get your game face on.